Today on the Tom Kelly Show podcast, we are going to talk about the near tragedy. In fact, maybe it is still a tragedy with Perez Hilton trying to hurt himself during a live stream. We're also going to talk about much happier topics. I just opened for Young June at Good Morning America for the Good Morning America Summer Concert Series. We're going to talk about whether or not it's wrong to take your dog's poop and to put it in the garbage can of someone else along your dog walking route. We're also going to talk about things that people from Lindenhurst, Long Island hate about Lindenhurst, Long Island. I think that's enough for a program, and I know you do too. Let's start the show.
The Tom Kelly Show. Everybody, I want you to go to the Tom Kelly Show.
Content warning, spoiler alert, podcasting from the Upper West Side of New York City, but with a heart that's from Long Island, New York. You are experiencing the Tom Kelly Show. Oh my God, you're new to the Tom Kelly Show podcast. What is this podcast about? It's about me. It's about me. It's this podcast about 6 years ago started as a wedding podcast. Then it became a self-help podcast. And along the way, it just became me talking about my life. And honestly, the clips do very well. And for those of you who stick around for every week, and you have a lot of choices for your podcasts, and I thank you for taking the ride with me. It's insight into a comedian who can't figure out if his career is going to take another amazing turn or if I'm figuring out what it's like to be middle-aged and looking for the next big thing. That lack of direction is exactly what's been right and wrong about this show. And I guess let's start with the old and work our way into the new. First, let's do a magic mirror. Magic mirror. I am thanking some of my viewers and listeners. Special magic mirror shout outs to Pat Stanton, Mark Neach, Franklin Rodriguez, who's a long timer, Jacob Lee Downey, who's a long timer, Maria Gudich, Becca and Nikki. Thank you guys for the time you put into consuming Tom Kelly content, both here and on Instagram, where I'm very popular and my attention is much less exclusive. Instagram, Tom Kelly Show, TikTok, Tom Kelly Show, and of course, MySpace, Tom Kelly Show. I did some work this morning at the Good Morning America Young June concert, and for those of you who want to reset on getting to know who Tom Kelly is. I'm from Long Island, started doing stand-up while working in television. I've worked at Conan O'Brien. I worked at Rosie O'Donnell's old show. I worked as an NBC page. And then speeding through the story, when Rosie O'Donnell went to The View 20 years ago in the year 2006, she brought me with her to be her warm-up comedian. And I wound up really having a relationship with ABC at Good Morning America and The View for 15 years, very aggressively. And then after the pandemic, the number of bookings they had for me went from 300 bookings a year down to 2 this year. Actually, it may be up to 4. But that's a big difference. And you get into what do you want to be when you grow up? What do I want out of life? And a lot of clips from this podcast of me talking about Long Island wound up doing very well. So I've kind of become known as the Long Island comedian. And even from there, you're looking to grow. If I'm going to take a self-help moment with this, I always advocate to people looking to me for career advice to read a book, Who Moved My Cheese? And the gimmick of that book is you have to look for what the next thing is, even if you're enjoying the thing. You know, so that's where I'm at. So it's just funny. Perez Hilton's name came up. Perez Hilton, I guess if you're also trying to learn about Tom Kelly, I have had I've always used new media to impress people working in old media. And if I were making a self-deprecating joke, I would say I have failed in every form of media since the printing press. But I have ridden a lot of new media waves, and maybe some of them have turned into good things, and maybe none has turned into the millions I deserved. I had a podcast, or I had a podcast before podcasts were cool. My buddy Mike McGarrigle did one with me. It was called This Show Again. My buddy Andrew Garcia was on it. Buddy Dan Hool turned me on to what podcasting was in the year 2003. We didn't make any money on that. I still own a website, IHateWeddings.com. It was a wedding blog that I almost sold a couple of times, that almost made me money a few times, and actually it got me on TV a few times, which led to other getting on TV things. Again, sometimes a little bit of failure or a little bit of lackluster success or just getting out and moving gets you something. And I'm going to go somewhere with this, and I swear that will be funny, whiny in a second. And I had a web TV show in the early 2000s. And then there was this guy, Perez Hilton. I feel like my mainstream viewers and listeners will know who he is. He had the hottest gossip column website in the 2000s. He was very mean to Elizabeth Hasselbeck, I always thought. He was kind of angry gay guy, angry Gen X gay guy. Slowly he outed, I think, a couple of gay people. I mean, like the website was mean, then it became nice, and kind of like so many web personalities who've had their 15 minutes of fame, the fame kind of fizzled. And today something happened where, and I have not and refused to watch the live stream, but where he tried to hurt himself on a live stream, and he was rushed to a hospital after. And, just when you think about it, and I'm going through this phase of life where I'm going to be moving and leaving New York City, but still in the New York area. I'm going to be giving up this brick background that so many of you who have come to love. Looking for a big change. And you just wonder with Perez Hilton, what was the source of his sadness? What is the source of his sadness? Is it that he had so much fame and it kind of fizzled? He had his 15 minutes and could not recapture his 15 minutes. I feel like a lot of the last 5 years of my life has been trying to not necessarily even find the next big thing, but to recreate the last big thing. And anyway, I guess I just want to wish him well. I know there are people he's hurt. I think he's sought forgiveness. And yeah, I just identify with that. And I guess the one thing I'm blessed with, and I think we're all blessed with, and you have to just make an effort to look for them. I have good people who love me. They're just not all necessarily in show business or on the island of Manhattan. And I think you have to make an effort to move around and be near the people you love. By the way, I did not mean for this podcast to be this depressing at the top. So anyway, Perez Hilton, get better. If you need a friend going through a midlife crisis, hey, Tom Kelly Show in the direct messages. All right, this is a good one. Good solo topic. Let's see if this works. Is it wrong to throw out your dog's poop in someone else's garbage can? Imagine this. You're going for a walk. You're taking little Scruffy for a walk around the neighborhood. You do the right thing. Scruffy takes a poop. You do the right thing. You pick up the poop and you put the poop in the little bag. But you've got a long walk back to your house. You don't want to carry around dog poop for a while. Well, what do you know? All the trash cans are on the street, and you could just drop the little bag of dog poop into someone else's trash can, even though the collection just happened this morning and that trash can is, not going to have any trash picked up for a couple of days. Is it wrong to throw your dog poop out in someone else's trash can? And I say yes. This is turning into a huge fight on X. There have been wars over this in neighborhood Facebook groups. There are people shaming their neighbors with Ring doorbell footage. People who have bought extra security cameras so they can get a 360-degree view of their property to catch their neighbors throwing out the poop in their garbage can after the collection. And I'm going to go with the pros and cons of throwing out your dog's poop in someone else's garbage can. Pro, at least the person is not leaving the poop on your lawn. The dog owner doesn't want to carry around and schlep the dog poop for another mile while they're giving Scruffy a good morning walk. Who cares? It's in a garbage can. They're not throwing it on your lawn. They're not trying to hide it in your bush. It's a garbage can, and garbage cans are meant for garbage. Well, I am going to give you the reasons why I think it is wrong to throw out your dog poop in someone else's garbage can. First of all, again, you're throwing out the dog poop after the collection. So it's not that, you're putting the dog poop into the can. You're putting the dog poop into the can. That person is now bringing the can back up to their kitchen door where their garbage can sits. And now for the next 3 to 7 days, depending on when the trash collection is in your neighborhood, that poop is fermenting outside their kitchen window. They have no idea what the hell happened. So they're wondering when they walk outside their kitchen, they go, why does it smell like dog crap? Well, it's because of you. And you don't even get to see that moment of suffering. Even after the trash collection, those dog poop bags don't always make it into the truck because the garbage man doesn't give it the huge heft to get taking the garbage can and hefting it in. Because, the dog poop, they always say that the poop always goes to the bottom. Well, the dog poop bag always goes to the bottom, and somehow it winds up lingering in the can. Next thing you know, Scruffy's poop from July is still in that damn can August 15th. Argument against throwing out your dog poop in someone else's trash can. It's your dog. It's your poop. You love your dog. Therefore, you love your dog's dog poop. It's kind of like why I don't have a dog and I don't have kids. If I wanted to deal with another being's poop, I would go adopt a dog or have a kid. I don't want to deal with poop. Therefore, I have not gotten a dog. I have not gotten a kid. So why don't you take your poop and bring it home to your own house? And yeah, there you go. That's a hard part with me doing the podcast solo. I feel like there would be a friend on the side here to clap for me. And that did not happen today. Yeah. By the way, how much do you love the brick exterior behind me? Here's what I'm going to be sad about if I leave this apartment. That brick is real. These decorations are real. The places I'm looking at are nice places, but they don't have that authentic 100-year-old gritty exposed brick. But then again, I haven't had a video go viral in front of the exposed brick in quite some time. I'm thinking of doing this podcast more on the road, on locations. I've been wanting to do that for a while, but because, it's just hard to get the microphones up and down the stairs in New York City. I feel like if I'm in the suburbs, more Tom Kelly on location and with more real people could be fun. But I'll lose access to the big name guests that I get in New York City. But then again, I've been too lazy to book them. So there you go. Okay. So for those of you who listen to the show who are not from Long Island, I think I've done a great job on Instagram over the last few years of capturing some of the nuances of Long Island South Shore and maybe central Long Island. This group hates this group, that group hates that group. And there's a town that I love, and people get mad that I make fun of it. Lindenhurst, Long Island. I think it really is the best. I feel like it's just rich enough, but also just gritty enough that it's fair game to make fun of. Lindenhurst I describe as... It has you go to Lindenhurst and there's just a vibe that somebody's about to get mad at someone else. And I describe Lindenhurst as Massapequa without the lacrosse players. I'll argue Massapequa, where I'm from, has that same something crazy's about to happen, but it also has this gloss of rich people that covers up the grit and the soul of Massapequa. Lindenhurst, no facade. And I also used to find that people from Lindenhurst used to have stronger accents than people from Massapequa. By the way, I just said accent. Anyway, I'm in the Facebook group. It's a Lindenhurst thing you wouldn't understand. I asked people from Lindenhurst, what do you hate about Lindenhurst? The nickname Swindlehurst, which basically is all over the internet. I actually never heard that until the last couple of years. I prefer calling Lindenhurst Lindy. So much more fun. Swindlehurst, Lindy. Just rolls off the tongue. Makes me happy saying Lindy. Next one. Why certain homes have sidewalks and others don't. So there's never a straight run of sidewalk. I see that in certain neighborhoods where you'll go walking on the sidewalk and then suddenly sidewalk ends. Yeah, why does one neighbor have a sidewalk and then the next door neighbor, sidewalk's gone? I don't get it. Explain that to me. Lindenhurst and a lot of other places on Long Island. Next one, parking. Oh, God, I have become the face of Long Island Village parking over the last few months. People from Lindenhurst hate the parking situation, and honestly, pretty much every village on Long Island with a bar, I'm not happy with the parking situation. Lindenhurst parking, it's crazy that you have to pay a meter if you want to just go in, get a quick slice of pizza, or go get a bagel. And the code enforcement, they are on top of things there. I was wrong, and they caught me in 7 minutes. So I was wrong, but they are on top of it. And that's the thing. I was only in the store for 7 minutes, but it would have taken me 30 minutes to figure out the damn parking app. And that's the other one I don't like about Long Island town parking right now is the parking apps are crazy. Another thing that people from Long Island and Lindenhurst don't like about Lindenhurst is the parking apps. Every village has this poorly designed parking app that's just not intuitive. It's made by a small company. Okay, go get Google to make a parking app, and then I will gladly pay my village parking. Next one. You need a permit to fish off the Lindenhurst docks. This was a big thing in the It's a Lindenhurst Thing group. You know, people say, hey, Long Islanders pay enough in taxes. Why can't I go fish in the damn ocean? It's not like the village is stocking the Atlantic Ocean or the Great South Bay. Let me go fish. And you know what? Fishing is part of the grit of Lindenhurst. It's like a real water community. Why are you making people pay extra fees for that? It's part of your soul. Next thing people hate about Lindenhurst, that the Friendlies, the movie theater, and bowling alley are gone. I specifically miss the Lindenhurst movie theater at the corner of Wellwood and Montauk Highway. I think I've only gone in there twice, but it was like you could go see a $5 movie, and what it really was the owner of the theater put in a VHS tape on a projector screen. Hard to believe that went under, but yep, I think they turned it into a boat store, and now I think it's a CVS. But I miss the Lindy Theater. Again, see that? Just fun to say, Lindy. This is a big one. Street maps and naming. The system's all over. This is the New York County named avenues, starting with Allegheny and ending with Richmond, have blocks through 100s through 600s, then 800s. Then through the thousands, there's no block with the 700s. And that is from another Tom Kelly, fake Tom Kelly. I get confused because everything's all crisscross up there. It goes names, then it goes numbers. I don't know. Thank God for GPS. That's also probably why I never dated a girl from Lindenhurst in high school. No GPS. I couldn't find her house. All right, this one is a fun one. I'm specifically shouting out Kim Woodsworth of Lindenhurst hates that village residents can only have one yard sale per year. She writes, I understand they don't want you to set up a sale every weekend, but at least make it 2 per year. One in the spring and one in the fall isn't asking for much. You know, I think that's the thing. Here's the thing with Long Island, man. You allow 1, you allow 2. Next thing you know, someone's running a store right next to the dairy barn. You know, it's... You know, but here's my question for you, Kim. How much stuff do you have that you want to have more than 1 yard sale a year? Me, I could do 1 every 5 and then just bring the rest to the dumpster. If it doesn't sell in that first yard sale, it's not going to sell. Put it on eBay. Put it on eBay. It's better for your property value. Okay, this is another thing people hate. This is a fun thing that people hate about Lindenhurst. The reputation about the number of bars we have. This is from the 1970s. In the 1970s, it was a Trivial Pursuit question. What town in America has the most bars? And that answer was Lindenhurst. But then somewhere, and they were all up by the train station. And this is pre-Tom Kelly moving to Long Island, and definitely pre-Tom Kelly drinking. Somewhere along the line, there was a fire and all those bars burned down. And I actually did a Chat GPT search, and Lindenhurst is not, it's at the median for bars on Long Island. I bet you it's number one for hipster breweries, but I don't know for sure. Oh, we are eating up time on this one today. People from Lindenhurst hate that the football stadium is at the middle junior high school instead of the high school, which would have better parking. People from Lindenhurst hate that they left Lindenhurst. One woman wrote, I hate that I can't go into the house that I grew up in where my parents lived and loved us for over 70 years, but the new owners, they're nice people. Last one, people from Lindenhurst hate that people don't realize people from Lindenhurst are great people. I love my friends from Lindenhurst. I love Lindenhurst. There's always a vibe that something crazy might happen. I describe it as Massapequa without the lacrosse players, but I also feel like I'm going to regret not buying in Lindenhurst. It's going places. Lindenhurst, yay! All right, big ending, emo ending. All right, big personal ending, if you made it this far into the podcast. We lost a giant in the last couple of weeks. My old high school's athletic director, Mr. Gary Proce, died at the age of 80-something. Mr. Proce, I credit for me with helping me to come out of my shell. I did not play sports, but yet the athletic director was nice to me. I volunteered and helped with the football team. And Mr. Proce saw me as a shy kid. And at some point along the way, put my name up to win a Christian Service Award. And I remember this moment where it was an awards ceremony and all the nerds and jocks were getting their awards. And I was a little slightly Gen X alternative, saying something mean that Katie Alpert had won all the damn awards. And it's like the Christian Service Award. I'm like, yeah, this one's going to Katie Alpert too. And then they said, Tom Kelly. And I threw my arms up into the air like I was Rocky and accepted the award. And Mr. Proce likes to say, that's the moment Tom Kelly became a pain in the ass. I don't know why I'm so sad about Mr. Proce, or maybe we should be this sad whenever somebody dies. He got me, he and a man named Brian Carey hired me to do my first paid videos. I did like promotional videos for Lutheran High School. Mr. Carey actually also fired me from I did like a couple of great ones and a couple of bad ones. So they were like the first guys to hire me and fire me. Mr. Proce went out of his way to make me laugh when I was quiet and help me and appreciated my humor when, it was hard to find people who appreciated my humor. And he probably tried to teach me how to deal with bitterness and disappointment at a young age. And that's a lesson I never learned. I worked for the high school newspaper, and he used to call me Scoop Kelly. I mean, that name just makes you giggle, doesn't it? Scoop. Please call me Scoop. It's funny, like you talk about who's important in education. It's not just the teachers. Teachers, yay, throw them a parade. In public school, they get a pension. What about the support staff? For me, important influences in my life. Louise Cunningham, who ran the school bookstore. Mrs. Bradison, who ran the school cafeteria. Mr. Proce and a lot of other people who would just notice me in the hallway put an extra effort into me. And I guess, you know, it made a difference. There you go. I told Mr. Proce on more than one occasion the impact he's had on me, and I think that's the one thing I have done well. I've told everybody I love that I love them. I told a couple of crew guys that I used to work with full-time at The View and ABC when I saw them today, hey, man, I love you. And, you know, they looked at me like, what the hell are you talking about? But, yeah. Anyway, Gary Proce. And I'll tell you, the fun thing about going to his funeral, tying it back to the beginning of this show. Gary Proce was in the Army, was basically some form of engineer, got out of the Army, set up some sort of a newspaper business at some point, but also worked as a pipe fitter. And then they started realizing, hey, there's asbestos around those pipes, and he did not want to do that to his health. He kept changing careers, met a guy who introduced him to Lutheran High School where he coordinated bus routes. And then he went one extra, he basically kept transforming his life. And that's something, like you talk about the things you can learn at a funeral, is the guy probably had 6 or 7 careers. He was a real Long Island hustler. He delivered newspapers to all the delis on the South Shore. He's a real working man. And actually, that's the other thing that I admired about him. And he did not have a college diploma, but worked in education with people with doctorates and held his own. Gary Proce, you're one of the greats. And actually, while I'm being depressing, just in case they come to it, happy birthday to my friend Lisa Banfield. And thank you to Shamar Smith for being my guest at her party, or my friend at her party. And I guess that's about it, folks. There you go. If you get a chance, tell someone you love them. Show love where love can be shown. And yeah, that's your homework assignment. Find someone from the past you haven't talked to who made some form of impact on you. Write them either a handwritten card, because you keep those a little longer. And even if the sentence is just, hey, was thinking of you. You made an impact on me in whatever job you did. And I just said impact, but I'm not going to redo that bit for editing. So write someone who made an impact on you. And until next time, good night, New York.